think I'm a minute early here, but welcome, Riddell Sports Network. I am Dan, and we're about to call well, me for now. I don't know if one of the boys are going to join me, but I'm going to call the Eagles Falcons game Monday Night Football. You don't have to listen to Joe Buck. Through the usual pregame ritual right now. ESPN. Typically, if I'm watching an ESPN, anything on ESPN really, but if I'm watching Monday Night Football, I usually go with the Manning cast, but they do a good job there. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. Who we got? Jay Stroud, Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey. Probably not going to do a play-by-play of the commercials as well, but here we go. Falcons, probably bring up the Fox Sports. Let's see what the odds change to. So when we did our predictions on Tuesday, I believe we recorded them, it was a 6.5 point spread, but since then AJ Brown is ruled as out, so that can drastically affect. I don't think it's going to affect the outcome of the game, but I think it could. Oh, there it is. So it dropped down to 5.5 at game time. Over under 45.5, which was also a drop, I believe, from up around 47. So AJ Brown's WAR is 2 points. Oh, I guess it's his par as points above replacement, right? Predictions. Let me see what it was. I'm just going back looking through the document. So it dropped from 47.5 to 45.5. And the over-under was Atlanta plus 6.5. Now it's Atlanta plus 5.5. So AJ Brown, big factor, obviously. But what it does is it takes the focus off Brown and lets the defense focus on the two biggest threats. So Dallas Goedert might have a big game here. So the two biggest threats, obviously, without Brown, are Smith and Barkley. Barkley looks unstoppable. Eagles offensive line. It's actually wild to see. Jason Kelsey living every young man's dream, playing in a giant bowl of fake cereal. Yep. Like the old ball pits back in the day, like at Chuck E. Cheese. Except it's Lucky Charms. That's fantastic. Ready to go. Lincoln Financial Field, covered in green, beautiful. They got all the green lights down on the field. Like they're all coming to the center to for the coin toss. Alter, she's been around forever. Not saying she's old, but I remember her growing up as a kid. Like her Michelle Tafoya, she's a big one. The other lady. The lady that got hit in the freaking head with the football on the sidelines. Can't think of her name, but obviously Aaron Andrews. These ladies have been around forever doing. John Robinson, big day. I don't know. There was a lot of talk when I get so like, just hearing people say words that don't really make sense to what's really happening. They were talking about the Eagles' last game against the Packers in Brazil. Oh, that Eagles defense was on their heels the whole game. Like, yeah, the offense turned it over, 4 times, twice in their own. I feel like the first quarter, the Packers had the ball in Philadelphia territory the entire game. It was wild. The entire fourth quarter. But we got Texans Bears highlights on this little screen here. Yikes. That was a game that we all thought was going to be interesting, at least, but That was a rough watch. Texans look very sloppy. They are 2-0, so you can play a clean 0-2 and a sloppy 2-0. It doesn't really make a difference. Oh, a lot of weird penalties, a lot of weird scores, like outcomes. Like who would have thought the Saints blowing out the Panthers is fine. Like, okay, sure, everyone's gonna do that. But the Saints blowing out the Cowboys is so fun. It's so much fun. Oh, and that highlight, there's DJ Moore frustrated with Caleb Williams. Yeah, the guy is... Listen to our podcast if you want my thoughts on Caleb Williams, but that's not what tonight's about. Eagles and Falcons. I think the Eagles win this, but I was very confident in the over-under when we did the predictions, but now it feels like this is a trap game for betting odds, at least. Like if I was redoing it now, I'd pick the Falcons plus 5.5. I still think Philly's going to win, but that's just, it's such a big difference not having AJ Brown. I mean, he's a top, let's be safe, call him a top 10 receiver, right? Currently. Yeah, I would say that's pretty safe. AJ Brown, top 10 receiver. To lose that, even just for a game, is pretty rough, especially when your quarterback is suspect. So needs that big. Devontae Smith, very, very good. Like up 20? Is that fair? I would say that's pretty fair. If not top 20, he's like just outside of it. This is this commercial again. What is this? Healthy Mix? Come on. They put Reese's Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Lucky Charms together. What? Does that work? Has anyone tried that? Like what? I don't even know where I'd start there. But oh, longest losing streaks on Sunday Night Football. The Bears at 8. Really, the 05 to 09 Eagles? They were still good then. There was like kind of McNabb transitioning to Vic days. Been a rough weekend for the teams that I like root for, you know? My Gators, my Florida Gators got freaking stomped. They're gonna have a rough season. But I like rooting for the Bengals. That was a joke of a conclusion. And then the Jags, they have 4 good quarters of football out of 8, but unfortunately the other 4 quarters were like horrible. I think they only scored 3 points in those other 4 quarters, and they're 0-2. I don't think it's time for panic for the Jags. It'd be a long season. The Texans, they're obviously gonna do well, but they're gonna stumble. They look rough. If the Bears could muster literally anything offensively with possibly the best receiving core in the NFL, and you forget they have DeAndre Swift as well, like what? I don't really get how the Bears are so bad when they have, Jesus playing quarterback. Very strange. I was told that he is the second coming, so I don't understand what's happening there. I thought they were going to come in. He was going to score 45 points a game. Break Cam Newton's record that he had from the first 2 games, the passing yard record. Falcons. Oh, got a huge flag covering the entirety of the field. It looks like it's an electronic flag. Fireworks. A good game, I think. Kirk Cousins has a lot of he has a lot to make up for last week. He's gotta come out hot here because he's got the pressure on him. I know he's making 40 mil a year, whatever that contract was, that $120 million contract, but just seems odd. AJ Brown on the sideline, 1,000 receiving yards in 4 out of his first 5 seasons. He's only been around for 5 seasons. This is season 6. How is that possible? It feels like he's been around forever. Crazy. I'm gonna try and be positive on this one. But, oh, we got the little Lincoln Financial Field image at the top left. Another good thing about calling these games, you don't have to hear the fake praise for a mediocre quarterback for what, 60 minutes of game time, 3 hours of lifetime. It's just quarterback coverage is out of control. It even stretches to college. Some of these guys that they get, these stiffs. I get you're trying to be positive and promote everything, but you got to be realistic at some point. People get these like false expectations from. That's why you get people booing their own crowd. Here we go. It's a pretty packed house. I don't know if it's a sellout or not, but there's a lot of bodies in those seats. Billy always shows up. All right. Falcons lining up to kick off. Guys, did you know there was a new kickoff rule? Let me explain it to you. Oh. Doing this like predator drone camera thing that's really nauseating right now. They're spinning around whoever the Falcons kick. No, they're spinning around the Falcons kicker with this like predator cam. Like, what are we doing? Eagles have like 2, instead of lining up all across the line, they have 2 wings offset. The first time go Britton. Nice gain out to the 33. A little chippiness to start. Eagles offense, career 5th season, 35-17, 69 passing touchdowns, 41 rushing touchdowns. They wouldn't dare show how many interceptions he's thrown. Most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback since 2020. Cool. Take away the Philly, whatever they call it, Philly sneak thing, and yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna try here. Now the Jalen Hurts guy. All right, Hurts in the shotgun, of course. Smith in motion to the top of the screen. Go. Drop back to start. A lot of time, of course. Nice completion over the middle to Grant Calcaterra, the second tight end. Pretty solid. He's solid for a second tight end. You don't expect he's going to go off for 12 catches, but when he's called upon, he makes the play. That might be, you might get a lot more of him today with no AJ Brown. And as I say that, he's off to the sideline with no helmet on. Okay. Shotgun again. 3 wide receivers back to the right. And a handoff. Fake to Barkley. Quick little out to Britton Covey, slot receiver. Britton Covey's the type of dude that if he was in Tom Brady's offense or Peyton Manning's offense, everyone would know his name. Because he's like one of the smaller, like Wes Welker types, but he's fast. I think he's faster than Welker and Edelman. Here we go. We have a first penalty of the game and an eligible man downfield. On the 2-yard bar here. Oh, Cam Jurgens, the center, replacing Kelsey. He thought it was a run and he just took off. Miscommunication because it was an RPO. Oh. Covey in motion. And Jalen Hurts on a keeper for a yard and a half. I think he thinks he's faster than he is, if I'm being honest. I get that the read option, you're supposed to base it strictly on the defensive end. But him on a keeper, he's a lot slower than he thinks. I think Rodgers now is probably quick. Hurts drops back. Little dump out to Covey. Second catch. Short gain. Like we'll have 3rd and 9. Solid Atlanta Falcons defense playing out of the 3-4. Carter and Aiden Ellis. And then the defensive backs are the strong suit. Terrell, Bates, Simmons. Those are very, very strong defensive backs. It's in the shotgun, empty backfield, 3rd and 9 at midfield. And a keeper. Pay him $50 million a year, and you can't trust him to throw the ball at 3rd and 9. 3-yard gain. 4th down. Anderson on the stop. Eagles come off the field. 4th and 6. You have Covey. It wasn't an option, draw option. That was the play that was called. It was straight draw all the way, even though Covey looked like he would have had time and space. But very nice punt down at the 8. Falcons and Kirk Cousins, notoriously as brutal in primetime games, will take over. Lucky for him, he's got the Chiefs next week on primetime. The Chiefs and the refs next week. So this is a must-win game for the Falcons. You can't go 0-3. There ain't no damn way you're beating the Chiefs with that support system that they have. Onto our commercial break. I wasn't sure about this Transformers 1. I don't know if it's strictly like child focused, but a lot of those animated movies have things for adults as well, which is nice. You don't want to torture the adults, or else they'll stop bringing them. But it looks pretty decent. Kind of fell off of Transformers after the first one was really good. The second one was all right. You kind of fall off from there. But I love the Tom Brady tab with the little goat there. Hear anything from Dave if he's coming by or not? Like it. I kind of and they both have to work in the morning, so I offer a thing. So, like most of the time when I used to work, early in the morning, you don't even stay up for these games. You watch the first half and then you got to wind down, or else the next day is rough. And some clips from the Falcons home opener against the Steelers where Kirk Cousins was absolutely manhandled. Falcons only 10 points. Kyle Pitts, who I think is going to have a much better season. The Falcons jerseys now are really nice. Very sharp. Never got their Super Bowl with Matt Ryan. I know Falcons. Why do people keep bringing it up? Sorry. All right. Go from their own 8, 1st and 10. And off to Bijan Robinson. Something that the Eagles did not do, and this was my worry, because Saquon last week looked insane. And instead of starting off with tempo and gaining some momentum, they threw it, or they put it in Jalen Hurts' hands 5 times. I don't understand. I want to sit down with Howie Roseman someday and see what he sees in this guy. But all right, man in motion. Another run to Bijan Robinson. And guess what? A 1st down. Gain of 9. First and 10 with some room to spare. The Falcons are already in business. Look, 2 handoffs. Kirk Cousins had to do nothing. And you're already up to the 30, 33. Oh, Sweat is 19 now. So that's great. Wondering who made that tackle. Well, play action for Cousins. Tipped and incomplete. Knocked down at the line. Like Jordan Davis, the monster. Can he even be considered human? That guy is just a freak of nature. You know, sometimes you get these. Here he goes. Tapped at the line. He just throws his bear paw out there. Crazy. Crazy that humans can just be like that massive. Here we go. Kirk Cousins out of the shotgun. Right. Off for a short gain. Ooh, they gave him a pretty good spot. Gonna be 3rd and short here. 3rd and 4 to be exact. So the Eagles run out 3 defensive tackles out on their starting lineup. A tough to run against. Clay, Johnson, Gardner Johnson, Blankenship, and of course the rookie Quinton Mitchell. A lot of Cooper DeJean worked in as well. Cousins back again. Pressure. Has enough time and dropped by Bijan Robinson. Right off his hands. Bijan Robinson, the #1 pick in our fantasy draft. #1 overall. I guess he's happy you didn't get McCaffrey to this point, but I just thought it was kind of strange. Hell do I know. Cousins had plenty of time there. Great job by the offensive line. He started to his left, scanned the field, and came to his right. And he had a man. That was a first down. But punt away to Covey, who's got some space. Little move. Very nice return. Just shy, just past the 35. At the 36 is where the Eagles will take over. That's a beautiful looking field, Lincoln Financial. Especially with the lights on. I like the themed when they do the themed jersey nights. All whites or just what it does, like how it makes the crowd look when they do the blackout night. If people like fall in line and, you know, fall in line, that's a weird way to put it. But if people follow suit, that's better. And you get like everyone in the stadium will be wearing black. Pretty cool. Water if you need it. Thursday Night Football page. That's which could be more of an interesting game than. All right, it could be more of a close game than originally thought, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a good game. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to come back and do it again for the Thursday game, but we'll be here on Sunday. I don't know what the Sunday games are. Let's see what we got. So weird. Like the Thursday games are so nice, but it's just such an odd turnaround time. It's very quick. Lions Cardinals, that could be the game of the week there. Ooh, Raiders, Panthers, Dolphins, Hawks, Dolphins, I believe will be without Tua. And 49ers, Rams. We got 2 good possibilities for 425. Oh, Ravens, Cowboys as well. A lot of 4 o'clock games this time around. And 2 Monday night games? The Jags and the Bengals are both playing on Monday night. Oh, that's a rough spot for the Jags. 0-2, and now you're playing the Bills in Buffalo. That's a rough go. Okay, we're back. Offensive line just consistently for decades now, one of the best offensive lines going. Back to the Hank Fraley days. Yeah, you never thought you'd hear of Hank Fraley in 2024, did you? Go Hurts in the shotgun, of course. Motion. And finally, a handoff to Barkley, and what a surprise, he gains 9.5 yards, just shy of a first down. Yeah, about a half yard shy. I mean, it doesn't have to be that complicated. You get the ball out of the hands of the overpaid guy who's not very good, and you put it in the hands of the star. Give it to him again. Nope. Well, at least it was a little dump, right? Jahan Dotson, just over from Washington, makes the catch for the first down. You know, we did the Bengals game on Sunday, and Mahomes didn't throw the ball downfield even barely at all. Swings, screens, little dinks and dunks. Yet you want to have this Jalen Hurts, who has, if this was Madden, his accuracy would be like a 12, and you still want to go deep? Crazy. Hurts in the pistol, little motion from Smith, and a handoff to Barkley. And Barkley with another 9-yard gain, just shy of 9 yards. 2 carries for 17 yards. Let's throw it for the rest of the game. Like it's not even logical. You put that ball in his hands until the Falcons prove that they can stop him. This guy is a freak of this is another freak of nature. Like, we had Miles Sanders for quite a bit, and he was very solid, but you can tell just the difference in just like it's very obvious. And that's not a knock on Miles Sanders. That's a praise of Barkley. And they pass it again. But little completion to Grant Calcaterra for a first down. Don't understand why you don't just go back to him, but I guess I'll trust Kellen more, right? Weird having the old Cowboys. The Cowboys didn't want him, so now he's in Philly. Jordan Mailata has a couple flags on the back of his helmet. I don't know what the hell the other one was. Obviously American flag, but something else. Right, some red flag. Go. Hand off back to Barkley. Barkley takes it forward for a first down. Bro's got 3 carries for 29 yards already. 28 yards. I mean, okay. We give Barkley praise, but the offensive line, obviously, even Goddard, who's not known technically for being a blocking tight end, he's more of a receiving tight end, but Bro is clearing out space, and Barkley, he's 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage before he's touched by a white jersey. Give it back to him. Doesn't make any sense not to. Right back to Barkley. Oh, and he only gets another 11 yards. What are we doing? Don't give it to... What do we... Crazy to watch. Anderson shaking his head. He's having a rough day at the office already. Barkley's real thick on the bottom half. His legs don't look like they belong on his body. Oh, he's on the sideline panting. I don't care. Give it to Gainwell. The offensive line is giving him enough steam right now. Yep, and they do. And Gainwell forward for 4 yards. Keep running the ball. I don't mean with Hurts slow ass. Keep pounding the rock. I don't care if Hurts is 2 for 4 for 14 yards. You can win with this offensive line and these backs. Yeah. Saquon Barkley has a pathetic 9.8 yards per carry. This is actually insane. Hurts is back in the shotgun. Devontae Smith in the slot towards the top of your screen. We have Dotson in motion. And they hand it to Gainwell, who gets 3. Now you have a third and very manageable short. Saquon wants to go back in. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, me. Can I go in? Bijan Robinson, who they're showing now, is like, man, if I had that offensive line. Barkley split out wide. Empty backfield. Barkley comes in. Hurts right. Hurts back. Got plenty of time. Plenty of time. He's going to try and run for it. Throwing incomplete to the third tight end, Wilson. I think he was going to try and run for it till he realized, oh crap, I'm not as fast as I think I am. Hopefully he realized. And the drive stalls. As soon as Barkley came out, they still had good runs with Gainwell. But as soon as Barkley came out, the drive stalled. Great job by the Falcons defense to pick up on Wilson. Oh, good Lord. Eagles are going for it on fourth down. Barkley to the right. And a timeout by Hurts. If you were going to go for it on fourth down, why not just hand it off on third? Like, let's just... Sometimes I don't understand the mentality of the new NFL. Like, if you think you're in 4-down territory, then play third down like it's second and give it to the guy who's got 9.5 yards a carry. Sometimes it just boggles my mind, this decision making. I'm not in the school. Maybe it's because I grew up in a time where the entire NFL didn't just always go for it on fourth down, and field goals were beneficial to the team. But I think that you want to just get points on the board. But I guess confidence, whether it's logical or not in your offense, now you're stuck. You could have ran it on third down, but now you're stuck. Hurts is 4 of 5 for 29 yards so far. Saquon to the right. Motions him out. Hurts rolls to the right. Nothing open. Throwing incomplete. Goddard was pushed in the back, but no call. If Mahomes threw that ball, there would have been 7 flags on the field. But I won't dwell on that, or will I? The defender got there early. It wasn't insanely early, but it was early. It wasn't enough. I think that was a good no call. It wasn't enough to warrant a flag. Not everything warrants a flag, okay? Okay, Kansas City Chiefs umpires who are supposed to be neutral but clearly work for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, NFL refs. There's an Aaron Hernandez documentary? What the hell? And that dude looks crazy like him. Oh no, why are you doing this? Aaron Hernandez documentary on FX and streamable on Hulu. Man, that's going to get dark. I'm a Florida Gators fan. I remember Aaron Hernandez, even from the Gators days. And actually dated a girl who tutored him. So, very weird. Very, very weird. I don't know. That is just a dark, dark story. So, that really would take the wind out of your sails seeing that. What the hell is FX thinking? I guess just capitalize on whatever the hell you can, right? To be fair, they made a Jeffrey Dahmer series. Was it a series, documentary? I don't remember exactly. Netflix. Why would you do it? Get people in more positive mindsets than worrying about this damn... Oh, remember that tight end that used to play for the Patriots that murdered that dude? Yeah, I do. Very strange individual. All right. What are we looking at for game? Ooh, Eagles Saints. That's going to be way better of a game than we initially thought. Any other good ones? Texans Vikings, another one that's going to be way better than we initially thought. And I can't wait to see what the spread is on that one. Broncos Bucks. The Bucks are looking real good. They just knocked off who I think is going to be the NFC champion in the Detroit Lions. You obviously can't go 17-0. So you have to falter somewhere. But the Bucks are looking good. The Cardinals are looking good. Rams had a very disappointing showing against the Cardinals. All right, we're back. Bijan Robinson off the left side and tackled for only a 1-yard gain. 2-yard gain, actually. Eagles defense is looking very good early on. Serious play. They got some pride to make up for after that collapse last season. They have a ton of corners to rotate in, a ton of defensive backs. Bijan Robinson again with a big hole. Nice move. Totally just broke the ankles of Darius Slay. Incredible move. And it wasn't even it wasn't a Barry Sanders type. It was a sorry Slay. It wasn't Slay. Total Barry Sanders. It was more of like a Derrick Henry, like quick cut back up the middle. And I want to give the Eagles defender credit because it looked like he slipped. So it wasn't really an ankle snap. All right, back to Robinson. Nice little 3-yard gain. This is the right move. Keep feeding the horse. Horse? Is that the saying? Feed the beast? I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Eagles already use a timeout, blow it in their own or in plus territory in the red zone. Now the defense has, at least they're not in short field position like last week. Cousins under center again. Go right back to it. This time it's not Bijan Robinson, but Algier. However, right back to the run and a nice solid gain. Setting up 3rd and short. Give Robinson a little break, and you have 3rd and 4. Plenty of plays to work with in this. Play selection on this drive, 4 runs, no passes. That should be what I'm seeing in green, but unfortunately, I have different views of talent. Cousins in the shotgun, drops back, has time. Intercepted. No, incomplete. You end up dropping it, but a very nice play. And that is it for the Falcons. Nearly picked off. It was a good job by Drake London to protect from the interception. He just saved it there. Quinyon Mitchell with the instincts, and his feet were in. So if Drake London doesn't hang on to that a little bit, got an interception. Ooh, Britton Covey with the fair catch. A near collision with the Falcons, but here we go. Offensively, I think the Falcons this is who they are on offense. They only put up 10 points last week. And obviously it's just the first quarter. But 10 points in 5 quarters, is this who they are after giving Cousins all that money? If you're the Falcons, do you try and maybe move Cousins and just like by what point in the season you try and move Cousins, right? Because you paid him all this guaranteed money. Someone would take him, especially someone on the up who needs to fill that slot, like Cleveland. Cleveland really could. I mean, they probably don't have the salary cap, to be honest, but Cleveland could move him. And then you just start fresh with Penix. At what point do you do that? Is it you just not think about it this year because of all the money? You spent a first rounder on him. And here's the thing with the Falcons. We did predictions about where we think they're going to finish after, or where we think they'll be after their first 5 games. And I said 1-4, but looking at this now, I thought the only game they would win is the Saints in week 4. But the Saints look better than the other teams they're playing. So they have Philly, obviously, now. The Chiefs next week. The Chiefs and the officials, 2v1 next week. So that's, I mean, I guess it's winnable, but barely. And then the Bucks, who also look very good. There's a lot of time between now and then, of course. They could win tonight. They could win next week. No, sorry. They could win against the Saints. They could beat the Bucks. But if they're 0-5, which is very possible, what do you do? That's a question we'll get to on our weekly Wednesday podcast, if it comes to that. So I said 1-4. I think Dave said 2-3, and Dare said 3. No, Dare said 4-1. The only team they'd lose to is the Chiefs, so he's already out. They're showing the Taylor Britt interception. So the Bengals outplayed the Chiefs, but they couldn't outplay the refs. That is just the reality of that game. I would love to hear from a Chiefs fan at some point, like a logical Chiefs fan, someone who's willing to discuss things and have rational conversations. I would like to know truly what they think about this. And off to Barkley, who stopped. First time the Falcons have been able to put hands on him at the line. 1 yard gain and 2nd and 9. Curious if there's any fans out there willing to have a conversation. I would just really what they think about the whole situation. The persistent calls, like what they think about it. Right, Hurts in the shotgun. Short. Devontae Smith's first catch, who's hammered immediately by Terrell Jr. for a short gain. I'd like to see Devontae Smith. We were talking about this with Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs. I'd like to see him put on a little bit of weight. Just not enough to affect their game, like in terms of their speed and quickness. But I'm talking like 10 pounds max, but like 5 pounds. Just to extend his career. He's very small. Barkley in motion out to the left. And Hurts breaks free of a tackle, of a sack, and throws to the sideline. Even if that is caught, which it's not, it would be short of the first down. As the Falcons players tip the hose on the sideline. I think that's what that was. Just making it rain, right? Hurts had a pocket, immediately tried to break it, and that's why he had to flush out to the right. It wasn't a bad throw, like in terms of where he put it, but it was short of the line regardless. Like, I don't even know what the game plan was there. Once away, Falcons receive. Nice gain. Oh, solid gain and a collision on the sideline between a couple Falcons players. Hopefully everyone's all right. I was just watching highlights last year I think we're going to commercial here. Nope, Cousins out. I'll talk about that after. Just remind myself of sideline collisions. It's always a scary thing. There's a couple that come to mind immediately. Here we go. As Cousins waits for the call. Oh. Center. What a lost art, huh? Drake London in motion. Bunch to the left. Play action. Has time. Nice throw to London. It looked like that was like grazed at the line because it kind of fluttered, and London had to slide to the ground come to the end of the first quarter. So the two sideline collisions, there was a Vikings head coach named Mike Mike Tice back in the day, who got rolled into and tore his ACL, MCL. He blew out his knee. Someone got tackled right into the front of his leg. And he spent the rest of the season as he could. I don't know why he didn't just sit in the booth. Like, I mean, I get that, like, that's your style to be on the sideline, but you blew out your knee. So spent the rest of the season with a huge leg brace on. Wild. And the other one was last year when I can't remember who the Saints were playing, but Kamara got tackled into the stands, into the sideline, and he rolled into a guy's leg, and the camera wasn't meaning to catch it, but the dude's leg was like twisted up because he broke his leg, and he's sitting there and you can see him holding his leg. He's holding his leg up at the knee, and his leg's just pointing the wrong direction. Sick stuff. Hopefully the guy's all right. I mean, it's been a year. Yeah, it's not all right by now, then not exactly a laughing matter. But yeah, it was just gross. Like the first time you see it, like you do that. I had to do this double take. Like, was that real? What? And yeah, it was early on in the season last year, and that was pretty nasty. Derek confirmed not coming. I wouldn't expect either of them to come. That's a long day. You work all day. You gotta do stuff at home. Derek has like 19 kids. And then he had bowling, which is why we don't have a Monday show. And then to come here and do that, then be up till what, 11:30, and then try and sleep and get up and do it all again. That's tough. Oh, they're showing the Drake London replay, and it looks like it was incomplete. No, they're sticking with it. Go. And off to Algier for a 3-yard gain. Eagles got some beef on the front lines. Graham, Philadelphia Eagles legend. Play action for Cousins. Will dump off to Algier for the first down. Eagles territory. Go. Cousins under center. Motion. And off to Algier for another big gain. Their first down for the Falcons. Starting to wear down this Eagles defense early on here. Falcons offensive line getting huge push. Algier is not touched by a green jersey until Reed Blankenship. You never want your safety, unless he's on a blitz, to be the first one to touch the running back. So, Reed Blankenship with a nice tackle to save a touchdown, really. 1st and 10 from the 23. More motion for the Falcons. And a handoff is fumbled. Bijan Robinson fumbles it. And we're waiting for the signal. Looks like Robinson recovered. Yes. Falcons ball. We're going to show the replay. Was it on the exchange? No. It was on the exchange, but there was nothing to do with the placement of Cousins. It looked like Robinson's second hand got caught. Yeah, he grabbed Cousins' wrist instead of the ball. I wonder who'll get that fumble for fantasy owners. Another running play. Gain of 2.5. And you got third and medium. Third and about 8. There was nothing there. Ooh. 63 for the Falcons just hold up. Third and 9. Short 9. Third and long. This lady's already yawning in the crowd. They quickly cut away from her. Here we go. Cousins in the shotgun. Whistles like out by Raheem Morris. Official call. God, you guys got to lay off on the fake tan, huh? Referee. Spent a little too much time in the bronzer booth. The other thing I'd like to know, other than the Chiefs fans out there, as we're a timeout, is anyone like Joe Buck? Like, legitimately. I'm very curious. He's one of my least favorite announcers that of all time, really. But I'd just be curious to know. Put out a poll, right? Like Joe. 6-play, 51-yard drive to this point. 3rd and 9 for the Falcons. London in motion. Zone coverage for the Eagles. Cousins back. Pocket collapses. He breaks for it. And they tackle him for a short gain. Bring the field goal unit out here. They're not going to waste this drive. Pressure by Eagles. Cousins had more time than he thought. I get that the clock's ticking in his head. He didn't want to lose yardage. Young Ho Koo comes on for the field goal and drills it dead center. Falcons 3, Eagles nothing. 11:22 left in the second quarter. Eagles have some splaining to do after that last drive. Falcons are another team. Falcons are another team who, when the Eagles are eliminated, I root for. Any team who hasn't won the Super Bowl, when Philly goes out, I would love to see the Lions get there first, and the Jags, the Bengals, anyone like that. Falcons, obviously, Titans, any of these teams who've just their fan bases have never experienced. Oh, the Bills is a big one. We live close to Buffalo, and it's the Bills is a huge one that it would be Eagles level insanity when they get their first Super Bowl. And I hope for Bills fans that they get it. Because it is, as someone who was an Eagles fan his whole life, seeing them get so close, NFC championships all the time, losing that Super Bowl to Brady and the Spygate Patriots, right? It was like heartbreaking every year. And then when they got that Super Bowl, it was legitimately one of the best days. Which may sound sad, I don't know. But the amount of time, effort, energy I put into that team, I did, and finally getting that Super Bowl victory, it was like the best feeling. I still watch that Super Bowl to this day. YouTube video where they do the Brady strip sack fumble in all languages. And I watch that one all the time. The Australian guy, he's the best announcer out of all of them. Check that YouTube video out when you get a chance. It is something. All right, here we go. Got some do some offensive line play. Cam Jurgens filling in for Jason Kelsey, who retired, is no slouch. Dickerson on the pole gives Barkley ton of space. Like an absolute ton of space. Grant Calcaterra celebrating the beautiful block he had. It was so smart for the Eagles last year to start Cam Jurgens at guard, even though they knew he was going to be the center when Kelsey decided to hang it up. You get this guy the experience and put him next to one of the best centers in Eagles history. It rubs off on it. It's osmosis. Fantastic. Kickoff is a touchback. So smart. Jeff Stoutland, one of the best offensive line coaches that I personally have ever known. Truly. His offensive line, the Cowboys' offensive line, every single year. The Browns actually, over the years, have had a solid offensive line. They just can't get the quarterback. Well, they had him with Baker Mayfield, and then decided they'd rather have Deshaun Watson. Jalen Hurts in the gun from the 30. Jalen Hurts stands at the 25. Motion for Johnson. And the handoff. Barkley bumps into Johnson, but still manages to gain 4. Great job by Barkley to recover. When you bump into your own man, it's not as risky. You got a big 6'5" monster in front of you. And it's a friendly, so he was able to squirt free for 4. 2nd and 6. Give it right back to him. Lean on your bigs right now. Goddard in motion. That's another guy you have to get involved here. Hurts has time. Throws a wobbler downfield to Smith. Tackled out of bounds for the first down. One thing I noticed is typically with the Eagles, Kelsey was calling out the coverages and such. But since Cam Jurgens is new, Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata were calling out the blitzes on that one. Help the youngster out. Hurts back again. Run into the side and throws it out of bounds. His pocket awareness is something. Okay. Someone should tell him, right? Ooh, didn't look like Smith held on to that ball. However, it's kind of a 1-for-1 with that Drake London play earlier, so it's a wash. We'll call that even. I don't think the Drake London or the Devontae Smith were catches. All's fair, right? Hurts in the pistol. Receiver set. And off to Barkley, who's tackled immediately at the 50. Loss of 2. Oh, what's that guy doing? He was doing the stripper money dancers. Judon, he's been a stud for a long time. He just beats. For some reason, they had Calcaterra blocking Judon. Oh, I see. Play was meant to go to the left, but Judon was in too quick. It was just supposed to be a chip by the tight end. Just to hold on to him long enough to get the bigs out in front. 3rd and 11. Falcons bring pressure. Complete to Goddard for a solid gain. It will be 4th and 3. Now, if you're the Eagles, do you go for it again? The Eagles have a very good kicker. I don't know why they always decide that 3 points isn't worth it. ESPN Analytics says 4th and 7 or less, the Eagles will go for it. What is this? What is this analytics we're talking about? Here we go. 4th and 3 from the Falcons 41. Hovey in motion. 4-man rush. Barkley was open. Hurts scrambles for the first down and more. A lot more. And a slide down. That's your strong suit, is up the middle runs with him. I think he thinks his lateral quickness is a lot better than... We have a flag down on the play, a late flag. He's not waiting around. Oh. They just called delay of game? Oh, delay of game after the play. Okay. Because he spiked the ball away. That's a odd call. But nonetheless, it's a 5-yard penalty after the play, so it doesn't count towards the down and distance. 1st and 10. I think that's kind of a... He just spiked the ball. That's a really corny penalty, if we're being honest. Because he didn't get up and hand it to him. These guys do freaking dick floss dances every time they, you know, get a pass deflection, and that's not... that was shady call there. Oh, what the deal. Nonetheless, here we are. Oh, it is. It does count towards the down and distance. 1st and 15. Wait, it's a 10-yard marker, but the graphic says 1st and 15. Barkley on the loss. Barkley on the play with a huge loss. Falcons had that perfectly read. 5 Falcons in the backfield. Let's see if ESPN can figure this out here. 2nd and 20 now. So they are counting it towards the down and distance, but the graphic on the screen, where the first down marker wasn't showing that. Okay, now we're back to normal here. 2nd and a very long 20. Falcons show blitz. Then 4. And Hurts is going to run. Because why would you trust your $50 million quarterback to throw it? I don't think that was a designed run, but he doesn't even trust himself to throw it. There we go. He gets a little bit of pressure instead of stepping up into the hole. He just takes off. It was a solid gain, but he's a running back first, and this will never win you a Super Bowl unless all the quarterbacks turn into running quarterbacks. This is not going to win you a Super Bowl. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. Mahomes and the refs, Burrow, Allen, guys like that. CJ Stroud. And Hurts runs again. And he gets the first down. Down inside the 5. The crowd cheers. You know what's funny is growing up, I always thought McNabb ran too much. Now, McNabb, if you try and compare McNabb's arm to... It's not a comparison, but here we go. Play action to Barkley. Throws incomplete. Don't even know who that was intended for, but... Flag down on the play. Possible pass interference. Looked like there was a little scuffle there between Goddard and Bates. A little bit of contact. Eligible man downfield again. 2nd time. Time on Lane Johnson. So something's happening with the communication because this is the 2nd time. Let's see. Lane Johnson just takes off running as though it's going to be a run play, and it should have been because the hole you could have driven a truck through it. But Hurts wanted to possibly run again, I assume. Throws it at the feet of Goddard. So something's happening in the communication breakdown between the offensive line and the quarterback. Here we go. Shotgun again. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. And play action. Hovey. 2-yard gain. He's wrapped up pretty quickly. Covey is leading the team in receptions at this point. Is it a stats thing? Is that why they're having Jalen Hurts throw? Is it so he can get the stats? I don't get it. Is Barkley on a rush count because of his injury history? Second and goal. 7. Barkley in motion. Hurts drops back to throw. Smith in the end zone for the Eagles touchdown. Eleven plays, 70 yards, 607. I mean, cheering for good reason. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now. I don't know why we keep going away from Barkley. I can't figure that out for the life of me, but nonetheless, Eagles get into the end zone 7-3 as Jake Elliott knocks the extra point through. 5:15 left in the half. Half's going pretty quickly. There hasn't been a ton of penalties. Good. I hate seeing the referees make such an impact on the game. It's just you want the players to play, and if there's penalties, obviously you have to call them. But when they're interjecting into the game so often, was that D from Always Sunny? Okay, we're into the commercial break now. Obviously, he's in a series called High Potential. Hulu. Sunny. They've broken off a little bit. Obviously, Charlie Kelly's the most well-known, but Dennis's character, if you guys haven't seen Always Sunny, obviously go see that. Dennis's character from Always Sunny was in a movie called Blackberry. I think it was in 2022. Off the top of my head, it was either last year or the year before. But it is a fantastic movie. It's about the BlackBerry phone, the rise and fall, spoilers, the fall of that, and all the things they went through to get that up and running, from just basic cell service to what it turned into. Very, very fascinating movie. And Dennis Reynolds' character is basically, or Glenn Howerton is the actor. His character is basically Dennis Reynolds, like as a CEO, business owner. Oh, get notifications, but all kinds of stuff. I won't talk about it here. Stuff going on in the world it's such a crazy time. Let's keep it light on the sports episode here. Devontae Smith with the touchdown. The Eagles are lining up to kick off. The Falcons need this to. They need a solid drive here to at least get a field goal, extend this game out. You can't come out and do 3 and out after that long drive the Eagles just put up. You got to give that defense some time. Even if you take this right into the half, his last 5:15, do your defense a favor. Kickoff's being returned and out to the 24 from the Falcons, and a flag's down. It landed right. It's like the face mask area based on where that flag landed. Right at the feet of the returner. See what we got. Ball. Legal block in the back. Strange. It landed right at the feet. So, big penalty on J.D. Bertrand. illegal block on the back. Back to the Devontae Smith play, lined up in the slot. Zone coverage, and they find the hole. Throw is behind Smith, but he's able to adjust. Reel it in for the touchdown. Go. 1st and 10 from their own 14 after the penalty. For Cousins under center. Full handoff. And a nice play by the Eagles defense to keep it to a short gain. Whoa. 5 minutes left. The Falcons can take their time and still put together a solid drive. Vic Fangio up in the booth. New defensive coordinator. That disaster last year. Cousins under center again. Eagles show blitz. They don't come. Cousins out to Pitts for his first catch of the game for a very short gain. About 1. Pitts has been very quiet in this first half. Williams and Jordan Davis come off to the sideline. 3rd and 6 for the Falcons. 4 minutes left in the half. Eagles want to get off the field and right back on with their offense, try and put up some more points before halftime. Cousins in the shotgun. Back to the right. Drops back. There was a strike out to the 30 for a first down. Again, the Falcons have just under 4 minutes. They can, without going no huddle, they can go up tempo without no huddle. Take their time. Running plays are still in the playbook right now. Got plenty of time, 70 yards to go, just under 4 minutes. Taking a little more time than I would have liked. And they're going to run it to Robinson for a huge gain of 11. Bad spot for the Falcons. It looked like he marked him before the first down. Huge play by the Falcons. Great blocking. He's barely touched until he gets 6 yards past the line. They marked him shy of the first down. They go right back to Robinson for another big gain. All the way into Eagles territory. Flag down on the play. Wait for the call. Guy has a freaking Transformers helmet or Power Rangers. They're zooming in on an offensive lineman, so that means it's a hold, right? And there's no flag for holding. Pick it up. We're really zooming in on Dahlman here. Jeez. Put the dude on blast. I don't see the hold. A good pickup on the flag. From the Eagles, 46. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Still plenty of time. You have 2 timeouts. You don't want to score too quick and give the Eagles another chance. And play action. Cousins fakes the camera out and down with a sack. Flag down in the defensive back area. Possibly an illegal contact. Defensive holding. Cousins faked the camera so hard. Morris is yelling at the official. Oh, penalty on. Brandon Graham's sack. And Kobe Dean hooked London, because London went on the out. Great job by God. I'm surprised they didn't call a 15-yard penalty on Graham grazing the face mask. Cousins. Go. 10 from the Eagles 41. back, empty backfield. Delivers the ball. Incomplete. Nice defensive play by Maddox. All was on the money. Couldn't come up with it. A nice throw. Good defensive play, I think, more so than Moody not being able to handle it. Go. Cousins 5 of 9 for 51 yards so far. Story's been the running game. Right? Mooney motioned in the backfield. Open for the swing, but Cousins goes downfield. Complete. Another first down. And at the 2-minute warning. And a flag was waiting to see what happened there. Oh, McLeod, who just made the play, jabs the Eagles player in the face mask in front of the ref. Now, Gardner Johnson trolled him by pulling his mouthpiece out. Good Lord. What a bonehead play by McLeod. Honestly. You have a huge gain. Gardner Johnson is a troll. We know that. There's a famous play where one of the Bears players back in the day starts just throwing haymakers at him. But to do something so stupid, your team is driving, you just made a huge play. You know Gardner Johnson's a dick. Like, why are you falling for that? And now you just cost 15 yards and potentially 7 points. I don't know. I just, some of these guys, they need to know some discipline. I get that he's being a weenie face to you, but just you got to keep your composure. If I was a Falcons fan right now, I'd be furious. What is he doing? I get it. Gardner Johnson's trolling him by pulling out his mouthpiece. So it's a dick move. What can you say? But you just got to keep your composure. Back to commercial break as we're in the 2-minute warning. 7-3 Eagles. This is a must win for the Falcons, as their first 5 games are murderer's row of sorts. Unexpected one as well. You see Steelers, you see Tampa, you see New Orleans. You're like, oh, those are all winnable, right? Chiefs and Eagles, yeah, sure. Nobody's gonna blame you if you lose those games. But you've already lost to the Steelers. You got the Eagles, Chiefs, a very, very formidable Saints team, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just beat the Detroit Lions. I don't know. All looking good for the Falcons. They got to win this one. Because next week you play the Chiefs, you play their refs, the refs in the pocket, and there's just no winning that. The Chiefs aren't going to go 17-0, so maybe the refs will throw the Falcons a bone, but we don't know. You never know. They just did to Cincinnati. Hard to imagine. Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, the story of the game so far. Chris Berman still doing the fastest 3 minutes. Wow. I haven't watched anything ESPN other than Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Baseball in a long time. Chris Berman, such a legend. Jason Kelsey going to join the booth in the third quarter. Very nice. All right. Oh, they all the way back to the 38 are the Falcons. 1st and 10. Little dump to Bijan, who's got plenty of space out in front. Nice move. 6-yard gain. Gardner Johnson, who just cost the Falcons 15 yards there on the tackle. You know, if you have an instigator who can keep their composure, that's a valuable weapon to have on your team. Falcons, Kirk Cousins under center, minute 25 left. Bijan with another big gain, still on his feet, all the way down to the 16 of the Eagles. Huge gain. Falcons still have 2 timeouts. You take one here, let your man catch his breath because he's. I mean, it's a lot to do with the Falcons' offensive line, but Bijan's making these quick cuts and just straight up field. There's not much thinking there. It's instinct. It's one cut and go. Very, very effective. Another handoff to Algier. It's about 4. Eagles defense is on the ropes. Falcons do get the ball to start the second half. Huddle. And off to Algier again. On at the 6. You got to take a timeout here if you're more. 26 seconds left. 1 timeout. You've completely dominated this section of the field drive. And you've given your defense what they needed. After that very long Philadelphia drive, you've given them everything they needed. They're going to be fresh after half. Now, if you're the Falcons, you have one job, and that's to put points up. Regardless, you want a touchdown, but you got to put points on the board here. You can't go through another long drive and come up with nothing. Great job of recovering after that McLeod bonehead penalty. McLeod is back in the game. 11 play, 80-yard, 4 minute, 49-second drive to this point. 6 seconds left. Yeah. Little flip out to Bijan Robinson, who Brandon Graham's such a good dude, isn't he? He face masks Robinson and then just puts his hands up in the air. He's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, brother. All right. He's shaking his head and everything. In the grand scheme, it's not much of a penalty. It was already first down, right? You're inside of 5 yards now. So it's half the distance. So it's not like you cost 15 yards. So it's not a huge penalty. Can the Eagles make a stand now? That's the question. For the Falcons, you're happy with 3 here. You get the ball to start the half. All is well. First and goal, 22 seconds, 1 timeout left for the Falcons. Cousins hands off to Robinson, who stopped for the first time in a long time, is stonewalled. So 1.5 yard loss. Now you have to call another timeout if you're the Falcons. Now you're in dangerous territory. Even with a sack, you still have time to spike it, but it'll be tight. Everyone's got to be up on their... I think if you're running it there, you got to be ready for a second play instead of calling a timeout, but you got to have 2 plays called because you want that timeout in the backup. It's tough. It's a tough decision, but great job by the Eagles to stop them there. Now, if you're the Falcons, you got to pass it here. Falcons are leading 108 rushing yards to the Eagles 95, so pretty tight in the rushing yards category. There's some green mohawk there. Cousins in the shotgun. Sack is devastating here. Incomplete, intended for Mooney. Now, if you're the Falcons, that was shy of the end zone. And if he's tackled, you're cutting it close. Cousins a little too quick on the trigger, but that's because he had a defender right in his face, so he had to get rid of it. 3rd and goal. This ball has to go in the end zone. You can't risk being tackled shy at this point. I'm out Philly. Talk it over. Now, at this point, maybe a Drake London fade is what you like to see. You just quick out of Kirk Cousins' hands. You can't risk the sack. You can't risk shorting it, getting tackled shy of the end zone, Tennessee Titans Super Bowl style. You have to get it into the air, into the end zone quick. Cousins stands, holds on, and throws it into the stands. Was holding on a little longer than he'd like. And on comes Young Ho Koo to give the Falcons. Oh, a little push off there. Drake London was actually there. I don't know why they didn't go with the fade. Bigger body receiver. But instead, get a incompletion. Safe incompletion. And this should just about do it for the half. I would assume the Eagles will kneel. So Koo knocks it through. 6 seconds left. 7-6 Eagles. Falcons again get the ball at the second half. Nice little overhead shot of Philly. A lot of green lights on the houses here. And could you imagine how much that house costs? You're literally on the water in Philadelphia. Like, rent there is insane as it is. But then you're going to have a house on the water. That mortgage must be must be something. Yeah, two Monday night games next week. You got Bengals, Commanders, and I don't know if you guys saw the look on Joe Burrow's face after the we'll call it safely the outcome of the Bengals Chiefs game. Go look at the interaction between Joe Burrow and Chiefs quarterback when you get a moment. Just go look at Joe Burrow's face after they dap up. The NFL is going to have hell to pay. Joe Burrow, just trust me on this. Go look at his face. It is going to be, yeah. They were very impressive against a formidable Chiefs defense. Very impressive. We'll see. We'll see what the Bengals have to offer. And they're 0-2, but they usually start slow. Joe Burrow, for some reason, his record in September, they were showing it yesterday, is like 2-9. He's just naturally a slow starter, which doesn't exactly bode well for the playoffs because you're always playing at Kansas City. Even when they made the Super Bowl, was in Kansas City. I think it was the game they were down 21-3, something like that. But yeah, just look at his face. Watch that. I'm sure it's all over X, Twitter, But the other game is Bills-Jags, and the Jags need it, but the Bills look so good right now that I don't think they're going to get it. Just early thoughts on that game. So here's the difference. Bijan Robinson, 10 carries, 72 yards. Well, this is not much of a difference, right? And Saquon has only 8 carries in the game, and it's not enough for a half for your best player. Your best player that's on the field. I think if A.J. Brown's on the field, who's your best player, but currently your best player on the field is Saquon Barkley. To give it to him 8 times, and it's not like he has 4 catches or 5 catches. It's just, if he's not rushing it, they're not getting the ball in his hands. It's wild. Touchback, and I think we're going to get pretty solid game so far. Very Jalen Hurts with happy feet. Do you ever see him like stand tall in the pocket and deliver a pass? No. As soon as the other color jersey starts to be in his face, like not even remotely You know, the pocket's not collapsing, but he sees a hint of a white jersey and he's just trying to bail. So the Eagles do kneel down, and that's take us to Eagles leading 7-6. No AJ Brown at home, which is very important for this game. Lead 7-6. The only touchdown being the pass from Hurts to Smith. This is where, with the Eagles, going for it on fourth down all the time really bites you. Wouldn't you rather be up 10-6? I would. Jake Elliott's a solid field goal kicker. Let him do his thing. We can stop at any point whenever you guys are ready. We can stop with this always going on for it on fourth down crap. Whenever. It's all good. Do your thing. Right, Dan Campbell? Lions coach last year, completely blowing the season by constantly going for it on fourth down. I don't know. I'm a fan of when you have the momentum and it makes sense, then you go for it. There are instances where the game wouldn't swing either way. Like, for instance, the Bengals Chiefs yesterday, Dave and I were calling, and the Bengals were down 17-16. And all I could think was, okay, sure. If it was 17-17, you go for it. If it's 17-16, because if you miss it, now the Chiefs have all the control. But tied, going for it doesn't exactly ruin the outcome. So, Scott Van Pelt, Jason Kelsey, and a dude who's dressed like a Chinese pastor. You know, like you ever see Rush Hour with Don Cheadle's character? He's dressed like that. Don Cheadle, who's running he's running like the gambling out of the back of the restaurant or whatever. He's dressed like that dude. What is that? Scott Van Pelt, absolute legend. Going through the highlights now. So, see what we got. Without seeing any spreads, I think the Browns obviously here we'll do quick. I think we'll get Jets, Browns, Eagles. Actually, I'm gonna go Saints. I think the Vikings upset the Texans. This is just off first glance without like really digging into it. I got a lot of research to do between now and us recording. But Bucks, Packers are at Titan. Malik Willis against his former team. Actually, I'll take the Titans off of first glance. I think we'll trust in Will Levis. Colts, Chargers, Seahawks, Raiders, obviously. 49ers, Lions, Ravens, Chiefs, obviously. Bills and Bengals. It's just first little glance. I'm curious. A lot of people are going to skip in that game. Second half starts in 9 minutes and 30 seconds, allegedly. Oh, let's see what the next Thursday. Bucks Falcons could be fun. Vikings Jets 9:30 a.m. Oh, that must be a Europe game there. 49ers Seahawks, that could be a battle. Just looking at the Thursday game. I see the Bengals are playing the Giants. Does that mean they play the Eagles this year? Very interesting. Broncos Saints. Yikes. Vikings Rams. Better than we were on. The Jets are having a lot of Wilson and the other dude that was over there. I forget who the third stringer was. We got to see them 5 times a week. Ravens, another good one. We'll take it. Rough. That's a home game for Philly. I might go to 8 minutes left. Second half starts. Little quick bathroom break. That has full of people in the for joining me. Get that about the game. Is it just me? So it's 9:40. No, I guess hour and a half is about right. But the first half just felt like it kind of flew by. So, yeah, give me a couple minutes. I will be right back. Okay. Oh, going up against Kill Tony in the ratings here. Kill Tony's on right now. Haven't checked that out. Air got me into that, and it's a lot of fun. It's ridiculous and insane in a good way. You don't like roast comedy though, it's not. Some of these guys get roasted pretty hard, but if you're like not really into that kind of thing, insult humor, that kind of deal, it's not going to be for you. And if your cringe factor, like your cringe tolerance is low, because some of these people are so bad that it's kind of hard to watch sometimes. I would say watch some clips, there's a lot of YouTube channels that do like little clips of Bill Tony guests and things like that. And if you like what you see, then you can move on to a full episode. Gotta kind of be in the mood sometimes for it. You know, I don't know if it's exactly the type of thing that'll break you. Like, let's say you've had a rough day. I don't know if it would break you out of a rough day, but if you're already in a, if you're already in a laughing mood, and it's so much fun. I think this I'll have to talk to the boys, but when we do the game, we're either gonna do Lions Cardinals or Ravens Cowboys. We'll probably do Lions Cardinals. That's like a lot more fun than the Cowboys one. Will probably be more popular, but it's just more fun to watch. And the Cardinals have been surprising. They did kind of, I say choke away, because I think Josh Allen was, the Bills came through, and I don't think it was exactly the Cardinals not being able, but just checking to make sure this is stopping. I'm not talking to myself here. What? Sure here. I did the first time I ever did this. I did a Jags Dolphins game by myself there. Sorry, it was the first time I'd ever done a play-by-play by myself. And Jags Dolphins, I don't know if I'm getting malfunctions. Pull this up on my phone and going through because it getting weird feedback. Anyways, talking. It keeps I'm gonna end this and just wait. Got it up on my phone. Okay, we're good. Up on my phone, we're good. All right, we're coming back. Hopefully the stream doesn't crap out on me, but I guess we'll find out. Nevertheless. There is malfunctioning. All right, end broadcast.